My take today is: what do you do when people reject you? If you have never been rejected, please spare a thought for those who have been rejected, and at times for a reason, and at times for no apparent reason. Indeed, at times people do lose interest in you. Sad, but it is human nature taking its cause. Rejection is one of life's greatest challenges. It is never easy to be rejected. It is never easy to have a person you trusted abandon you. No kidding, it is easy to be betrayed by your family, sibling, friends, or work colleagues. This can happen to anyone at any time. The reality is this: in the life that we live, we deal with people who many times do not feel about us in the same way we feel about them. Should we just admit defeat and lose our minds because of the rejection? Absolutely not. Should we sink to their level and try to get even? Absolutely not. Rejection is very real and comes with challenges. It challenges us emotionally, psychologically, and for some people spiritually. It throws the person into some confusion as we struggle to deal with emotions, which are practically throwing us all over the place. The rejection can be so intense that we do not know how to process it. In some cases, the rejection many times continues to the future. It creates a lot of holes and more issues psychologically, especially when we are dealing with other people. The natural inclination is to get even, but spiritually, the Spirit of God is steering us into a different direction. Some people may ask for forgiveness, assuming you are aware of the reason that has resulted in rejection. At times, the people you trusted to break bread with are the people who will stab you at the back. The people you call family can pull you down. The friend, colleague, or family member you thought are your best friends can quickly turn against you. You're left perplexed as to why God has designed these people to come through your path in life. There are lots of good and caring people around us and in our lives. Some will stay with you through life, and some will drop off. This is just the nature of humans. I say that not to create any cynicism, but for anyone who is dealing with this dilemma, to stay focused and be ready for eventualities that may be thrown on your path. Where you are dealing with people that you thought would be one way, but then you come to the realization there is something different. Your heart is broken because the people that you love, and the people that you desire, do not want you back in their circles. At work, you may be seen as aloof, chip on the shoulder, and a threat. The fickle nature of people, those closest to you are the ones that will reject you. Stress sets in. What should you do? It is a deep leap. Personally, I will disengage from the low energy, and be true to me. Insignificant things will never matter unless you decide they should. Do not concentrate too much, just smile, and let go that distraction that is longer not important. Nobody is all bad in this world. It is not really love if you continue to keep the person who does not like you in the same place in your life. Once you discover that people do not want you, and people do not really love you or care about you, this is the time you must put a distance between you and them. There are many of you who are perpetuating your suffering. You are perpetuating your turmoil, in your trauma, by not letting the negative person go. When you discover that people's hearts have turned against you, the best thing is to retreat into your own private and personal space. Do not dwell too much on what happened. Spare a thought. If that was really your friend, then she or he should approach you and point out the real issue to you. If they have not approached you, then let it go. Never try to force yourself on people when people do not want you. Never try to force yourself on anyone. A lot of us have been there and will experience it repeatedly. You are bigger than that. Never force yourself onto people or into places or spaces where you are not clearly wanted. And never go with people who are tolerating you. Only go with people who celebrate your presence. Remember, staying away is self-respect. Staying silent and calm will protect you from the harmful situations. It is healthy enough to be able to separate yourself from the person or persons who resent you. Go into your own personal space. Hand whatever is happening to God and be content. If you try to discuss or argue, you will be likely to experience blame shifting, gaslighting, or silent treatment. You do not have to explain yourself to anyone. I know this is tough when you are a person that is addicted to people. Remember, people more times than not will disappoint you. People more times than not will piss on you and tell you, it is raining. People more times than not will let you down. People more times than not will stab you in your back. You must be strong enough in yourself. For those who are Christians, stay secure enough in your relationship with God. Be able to separate yourself from people without feeling any personal sense of loss in terms of your identity or your values or your worth. You and God are enough. Never try to force yourself onto people who clearly do not want you. Some of you have the wrong people drinking coffee and tea with you at your table. Your relationship with God will help you separate yourself from people without feeling any personal sense of loss in terms of your identity or your values or your worth. Healing cannot start until you allow distance. If you stay engaged with people who are hurting you, and people who are constantly having low regard for you and breaking you, healing can never take place until you disengage. Personally, I would put distance between me and the people or the person that does not want me. Just because they say I love you does not mean they want or like you. Their actions tell you they do not really want you. When people really want and care about you, you can feel it, and you can see it. Yes, you can feel it in their energy, and you can see it in their demeanor and in their behavior towards you. Reach for spiritual perspective. The last thing you want to do is to fall in your flesh when people have hurt you, when people have rejected you. Do not go into rage. In fact, hold nothing against her or him. Do not allow the negative experience to fill your heart with bitterness. You do not want to be like the person who is blowing negativity. Forgive and let go. Allow God to give you a spiritual divine perspective on this because you must understand something. If God has allowed it to happen, I assume He has an ultimate plan for letting it happen. Personally, at times I cannot understand God's plan for me in our human intellect. At some point, and in God's own time, we may come to realize why all this rejection took place. It is possible, it was for our own good and progression in life. Just my thoughts for today. How about you getting that coffee, tea, or lunch? Stay positive, and I wish you all a momentous week. You are not alone.